Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy, and tonight I am reviewing the newest edition of the Blue Spot Irish Whiskey coming out of the Middleton Distillery. How will this live up to the previous year's release? I'll let you know when I nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. Alright, 7 years old and cask strength coming in at 58.9% ABV, the exact same bottling strength as the previous year's release. I was kind of confused when I first saw this. I was like, is this the exact same batch that I had before? But no, it's not. If you take a look at the bottle code, it does say 2022 on here, whereas the other one does say 2021. And there's one more indication, which we'll get to later in the review, that you can tell. Obviously, they're different. But very, very rare that you get two releases that are both cask strength, the exact same ABV from the same distillery back-to-back years. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But like every single Blue Spot, this is matured in ex-bourbon, sherry, and Moderna casks. Let's see how this is on the nose. So an absolutely fantastic nose. This is what you want in an Irish cask strength whiskey. Just glorious, like lemon meringue pie, pineapple, underripe banana. Actually, you're gonna get two kind of banana notes in here. You get the underripe, and then it kind of transitions into more like a spicier banana nut loaf. Definitely get like an allspice characteristic. To me, it reads like that. The spice level in here, very, very subtle, nicely integrated. Cinnamon as well. Really nice citrus notes, orange peel, clementines, just very delicious notes. Vanilla frosting, vanilla icing, cookie dough, ice cream. Just very, very well balanced, very well integrated. Sweetness, spice, tropical fruit, citrus fruit. You kind of get a little bit of everything in here. It is very, very good on the nose. I would go out on a limb and say this is one of my favorite Irish whiskey noses I've ever had. It is that good. Let's try palate. So a lot of those banana notes carry over. Definitely get the underripe, and then that banana nut, allspice characteristic. Same with the cinnamon, those spicy notes. Definitely more prominent on the palate. Even maybe like more of like a banana kind of custard. Really, really good. Really enjoyable. That vanilla icing kind of goes to more of like a vanilla cake kind of taste to it. And then I get that typical Irish profile, that like malty characteristic, that like unmalted barley note that you get from a lot of Irish whiskeys. Definitely in here. Nice sweetness as well, a little bit dark chocolate, a little bit of honey. Really absolutely delicious whiskey. Very, very impressive for sure. Now there's always a rumor that these have a little bit older whiskey in them. I believe the rumor was you get some stuff around 20 years of age or so. Definitely believe it. I would 1000% guarantee there's older whiskey than just 7-year-old stuff in here. It does drink older than 7 years old for sure. The nose is absolutely glorious. But you, on the palate and on the finish, you can pick up some of those more youthful notes. It noses like a very nice, old, bold whiskey, but the finish, you can tell that there is some younger stuff in here. A little sharp, doesn't take that much away from it, but I would say that the palate not living up to like the nose experience for me for sure. That being said, just very, very enjoyable whiskey. You know, the nose, bold, complex, really nice, subtle spiciness kind of just lingers through. Palate, amazing, savory, sweet. Love the tropical fruit notes in here. Love the cask type maturations. Everything works very, very well balanced. Score-wise for me, 88.5 out of 100. Let's talk value. I paid 110 Canadian dollars for this. Actually an LCBO purchase. I think for that, I'm still pumping it up a half mark for value. I think even at 110, let's bump it up. Make it 89 out of 100. This cost me $10 more than it did the previous year, but I'm still giving it that bump for value because this whiskey I like more than the previous batch. Let's talk about the previous batch for a real sec. I said before that you can notice that they're different batches even though they're the same ABV because of the color. Now I don't really talk too much about color of the whiskey on this channel just because I feel like every time someone talks about how much they love a rich, dark, colored whiskey, another distillery just pours E150 into theirs. It's kind of annoying to talk about the color of a whiskey, especially if it's been artificially colored. Now, these do not say that they're natural color, although I believe that they are. It does say non-chill filtered. But as you can see, the newer edition, a couple of degrees darker than the old. So perhaps you're seeing a little bit more sherry influence, a little bit more Madeira cask in the new batch. But comparing to the 2021, I'd say the 2021 has more like honey sweetness, more of that malt characteristic, a little bit less of that banana note, but kind of right on par with like the vanilla sweetness, the spiciness, kind of fairly similar, I would say. So maybe the notes you'd expect for more sherry aren't necessarily showing up. I feel I'm getting notes more of the ex-bourbon cask, more influence in here. Either way, I would say these are both phenomenal whiskeys. I do prefer the newer batch. But just by a half tick. Both some of my favorite Irish whiskeys that I've tried, and both good value for money in my opinion. It's hard to go wrong with some of their premium offerings for sure. Thanks so much for watching, really much appreciated. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.